come here. Forgive your father so you can stop dating him. Forgive your father so you can stop dating him. Please forgive your father so you can stop dating him. I wish that I could put that memo on a giant billboard in the middle of Times Square and every other major city so that all of my anxious attachment babes and even my avoidant attachments can hear that message and finally come to terms with why they are attracting emotionally unavailable men. And I speak from personal experience. Hi, you guys. I'm Coach Lakeisha, and I am an emotional wellness and embodiment coach for women who are ready to step into their worthiness and live an orgasmically juicy life. And let me tell you, my life was not always that way. Literally, I was chasing behind somebody's broke, toxic son with absolutely no sense in my brain. And I remember, like, I would have slumber parties with my friends, and we would just be, like, talking about all of our men drama, and I'd be like, I know he's crumb. Like, I know he's the bottom of the barrel. I know he's disrespected me. I know all of these things, but for some godforsaken reason, I was addicted to him. I couldn't let him go. It was like a fucking sugar high that I just constantly craved. It was like I needed a fix. So even if I would get the courage to block him after he did something treacherous, literally within like 72 hours, he'd be unblocked. I'd be writing him to start an argument. I would reply to a story or something like that. I would do something to get him to engage with me once again and allow us to repeat the cycle all over again. Now, I'm sure you're watching this video and you're like, girl, I can totally testify. I can totally relate. And I'm here to let you know that this is a judge-free zone. Okay? I got your back. So no worries. I'm going to tell you how we're going to get over this. But first things first, we have to realize the fact that we are addicted to these people. Our body, our minds is literally chasing that cortisol. It's literally chasing that high to see if this next time is actually going to be different, to see if this next time we're going to be able to fix the situation, to fix whatever we feel is wrong with us. And where does that stem from, this idea that something is wrong with us? Our childhood. And in some instances, it probably isn't the father. But for this particular video, I will be talking about daddy issues. So in my particular case, I grew up in a single parent home. My father was not active, although I knew who he was. There were instances where I did see him, but he was not a major part of my life. I don't remember him at any of my birthday parties or my graduations and things like that. So there was an absence, right? And I didn't really realize until I got to high school and I had friends that did have active fathers in their lives. And I just was like, oh, wow, that's what fathers are supposed to do. Like, I thought that Cosby Show stuff was just like a TV bit. But this is like really how the world is supposed to work, right? This is what love looks like. Okay, cool. Got it. So there was a chunk of my existence that was kind of just me trying to figure out what the dynamics was of healthy love, because I watched my mother in certain romantic relationships, and from my 32-year-old mind now, I can look back and say that they weren't healthy and they weren't good representations of something that I desire to have, right? I remember the arguing, the screaming, the slamming doors, the breakups, the makeups, like the sad love songs. Like, I remember just like being in the car with my mom and us listening to like Mary J. Blige on repeat, and it was like chaotic, right? So I say all of this to say that ultimately, when I got into a relationship and I started dating, I had the breakup playlist. I, did the little song and dance with my boyfriend where we would go back and forth and we would argue and we would break up into makeup and all of those things, because that was what I witnessed. And the more I found myself in those experiences, whether I walked away from that relationship or stayed longer than I should have, they were all toxic. They were all emotionally unavailable on both of our ends, right? I can finally say that I was also emotionally unavailable, but that's a video for another day. So I realized that I was carrying around a lot of anger towards my father, and I needed to forgive him. I needed to release so that I can stop trying to repair and recreate that relationship that we did not have in my romantic dating, in my romantic life. So what I mean by that is my father not being there led me, my small young mind, to believe that I am unlovable, that I I'm unworthy of someone sticking around for, right? Because our parents are supposed to be there to love, to protect us, right? We all wish that we were made from a place of like love, and that our parents are going to show up and be our heroes and all of these things. And I didn't have that, right? My father was not my hero. He wasn't my Cliff Huxtable, or, like the TV dads that I saw all the time. I was obsessed with the Cosby Show when I was younger. So all of my references will be like that. But anyway, so it's like I had this belief, right? I had this belief within myself that just said I wasn't lovable. I wasn't worth sticking around for. My mother would get a boyfriend and it was like, oh, beautiful, like this amazing like stepfather or whatever experience. And then it was like they would break up and it would be like, all right, screw your kids. I'm out, never to be seen again, or whatever the case may be, right? So there was a lot of abandonment, right? There was a lot of absence happening in my life. So here I am when I'm dating, and now my boyfriend isn't texting me back. And there's a part of me that's just like, my chest is tightening and I can't take it, right? And it's just like, oh, I cannot be abandoned again. I cannot be rejected. So I'm going to stay. I'm going to fight. I'm going to try to fix it. I'm addicted to the struggle love because I want to convince this person. I want to get this person to see my worth. I want to get this person to love me the same way that I wanted my father to love me. Right? So I want you to take a moment to think about what your childhood was like, to really think about what that experience was like, the relationship between you and your father as a child, and then think about those same feelings and insecurities that you had, and does that mirror your relationship with your partners or your previous partners, right? Because when I say I needed to forgive my father, I was truly able to break free of this idea that I was unlovable, that I wasn't worthy of sticking around for. And I finally came to terms with the fact that just because this man who brought me into this world did not stick around, just because this man did not do and meet my emotional needs, does not mean that another man is incapable of doing that. It does not mean anything about me. It just says that he was unavailable to be that for me. Even if it was his job, even if he is my parent, he was unavailable to do that thing, and that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with him. Everything to do with the dynamics of my parents and their relationship. So I remember like going to Central Park and doing a video, and I titled it Learning to Forgive Someone Who Never Apologized, because I never got that apology from him. Even as I got older and he came back into my life, he never apologized, right? And once I got to a space where I didn't need that apology anymore, and I made the decision that I was going to let go of that anger, not to repair a relationship with him, but just so that I could finally be free, just so that I could finally be happy and be open and receptive to receiving a healthy love. It was the moment that honestly I got the apology that I wanted from him, but that's neither here nor there. But it led me into a space of attracting a different quality of man, a different type of partner, even a different type of dynamic in my friendships, because I was no longer holding on to relationships with people that I was afraid of losing. I was okay. I learned to be okay with being by myself. I learned to be okay with someone not responding to my text messages right away. I learned to be okay in my solitude. I learned to be okay leaving a job, leaving a city, leaving the country. I learned to be okay with change, without fear, without anxiety. I got comfortable with change. Forgiving my father freed me to the utmost degree. And I realized that I was obsessed, right, with a partner, with emotionally unavailable people. I was obsessed with the chase. I was obsessed with the chaos. I was obsessed. Literally, my body was craving the high, that cortisol, that stress, right, of will this time be different? Will he finally see my value? Will he learn to love me? Even though the past 3 times have just shown me that he's probably not going to show up. He's probably going to drop the ball. But that one time, right? So it would be this instance, right, where this guy that I was dating in my 20s, it would be like 3 times he would drop the ball. But on that 4th time, he would show up for me. And it was just like, yes, I got the hit that I needed. I got that adrenaline. I got that high. I got that thing that I needed. I got that validation. So then the next time when he would drop the ball, my mind would just be like, no, I got to get that high again. I know that I am capable. I know that I'm worthy. I know. And I would keep chasing it and chasing it and chasing it until ultimately that guy was just like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore. And he broke up with me. And I was like, okay, cool. I was single for a little bit. And then I got another partner. And the only reason I had left that partner, even though it was super freaking toxic, was because he publicly embarrassed me. And I do not take well to public embarrassment. But that's another story for another day. I say all of this to say is that we only obsess over situations and people who do not make us feel safe because we want to right the situation. We want to fix it. And we want to recreate a part of the past. Because if I could just get that guy to forgive me, if I could just get that guy to commit to me, if I could just get that guy to love me, then I could prove my father wrong. I can prove that I am worthy of love. I can validate the belief that I have, that I'm trying to create in myself, that says that I am lovable, right? So the more I fought to stay in those situations, the more I struggled, the more I chased, the more I manipulated, the more I literally went crazy, the more chaos, the more I actually hurt myself. And when I began to forgive my father, I stopped hurting myself. I stopped chasing emotionally unavailable people. I'm okay with my text messages being unanswered. I'm okay with someone ghosting me, even though it may hurt my feelings, but I know that I can survive it. I know that I'm going to be okay. I know that it's safe and it's acceptable for me to shed tears, but I'm going to get through. I know that I get to attract people who no longer desire to ghost me. I get to attract men who are excited to chase me, who are excited to be a part of my world and to see the magic that is me, that is Lakeisha, right? And long story, like, once I did that work and completely changed the caliber of men that I attracted into my world. I got men who weren't fixated on getting me into bed. I got men who literally just wanted to cherish me and treat me like the goddess that I ultimately am. And it was a beautiful experience to have relationships with people who just really wanted the best for me, whether it was going to last a month, 6 months, 6 years, just having people in my corner, just having partners in my corner who wanted to pour into me, who saw the beauty of my smile, of my personality, who enjoyed me talking about the Cosby Show or my dreams and my hopes, and who wanted to encourage me, who wanted to financially even support some of these dreams. It was incredible the type of men that I was able to attract once I began to forgive my father. So I'm here to tell you, forgive your father so you can stop dating men like him. And if you need support with this, check out my book, Yes, I'm in My Feelings. It's available on my website, LakeishaCorba.com. The link is in my bio. If you want some private one-on-one support, you can fill out my questionnaire on my website as well, or literally just send me a DM and I will give you all of my rates and we can have a conversation about what that looks like, because I am here to support you. I am here to get you to a place where you remember who you truly are, remembering that you are that divine goddess that is worthy of love, money, and every single thing else that you desire. So, I'm Lakeisha. I love myself. I love you guys. And I cannot wait to catch you on the next video. Mwah. Bye.